Being the nice one sounds like a good thing at first, because you're the person everyone feels comfortable around, the one people open up to easily, the one who makes situations feel lighter and smoother. But after a while, you start noticing something that doesn't make sense. People like you. They enjoy being around you. They trust you. But when it really matters, they don't show up for you the same way you show up for them. And somehow, the more you give, the less they seem to value you. You probably know exactly what this feels like. You're the one who always says yes, even when you're already tired. The one who cancels their own plans just to help someone else. The one who says, "It's fine," with a smile, even when deep down you know it's not fine at all. And from the outside, it looks like kindness. It looks like you're just a good person. But on the inside, it feels different. Because you start realizing that you're always the one adjusting. You're always the one understanding. You're always the one making things easier for everyone else, while almost no one is doing the same for you. And that's when the question quietly shows up in your mind. How did I become this person? Here's the truth. Being too nice is rarely just a personality trait. It's usually a pattern that was built slowly, over time, often without you even noticing it happening. Psychology shows that people who are highly agreeable tend to avoid conflict, suppress their own needs, and prioritize others, even when it comes at their own expense. And at first, that looks like kindness. But over time, it turns into something else. Because the human brain doesn't just respond to kindness, it responds to value. And value, psychologically, is not measured by how much you give, but by how easy it is to access what you give. So when you're always available, always saying yes, always adjusting yourself to fit other people, you slowly become predictable. And the brain doesn't hold on to what feels predictable. Think about it in a simple way. If someone replies to you instantly every single time, never disagrees with you, never sets limits, and is always there no matter what, at first, it feels comforting. It feels nice. But after some time, you stop noticing it. It becomes normal, expected. And what's expected stops being appreciated. And this is where most people misunderstand everything. They believe that if they give more, they'll be valued more. That if they try harder, people will finally recognize their effort. But in reality, the more you give without limits, the more people get used to receiving without thinking, until your effort, which once felt meaningful, becomes invisible. And that's the part that hurts the most. Because you didn't stop caring. You didn't change. You're still giving the same energy, but now it feels like it doesn't matter in the same way. But the deeper truth goes beyond behavior. For many people, being the nice one is not really about kindness. It's about safety. At some point earlier in life, you may have learned that being easy made things smoother, that staying quiet avoided conflict, that keeping people happy helped you feel accepted and secure. And your brain took that lesson seriously. It created a simple rule. If I make others comfortable, I'll be okay. And now that rule shows up in small, everyday situations. Like when someone asks you for a favor, and even though you feel exhausted, you still say yes because you don't want to disappoint them. Or when someone says something that bothers you, and instead of addressing it, you laugh it off to keep things light. Or when you want to express how you feel, but you stop yourself because you're afraid it might create tension. And slowly, without realizing it, you start disconnecting from yourself. You stop asking what you need. You stop expressing what you feel. You stop setting limits. Until one day, you don't even recognize your own voice anymore. You become the person everyone relies on, but when you're not okay, you don't even know who to go to. There's a word for this: self-abandonment. It's when you leave your own needs, your own feelings, your own boundaries behind, just to keep other people comfortable. And over time, it creates a quiet kind of exhaustion. Not loud, not dramatic, but constant. A feeling that you're always giving, but rarely receiving. And here's the irony. The more consistent your kindness becomes, the less people consciously notice it, because they adapt to it. What once felt special becomes expected, and what's expected loses its value. So you end up being seen as reliable, available, and easy, but not necessarily respected. And this is where everything begins to shift. The solution isn't to stop being kind. It's to stop losing yourself in the process. Because there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Being nice often comes from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of not being liked. While real kindness comes from clarity. Clarity about your worth. Clarity about your limits. Clarity about what you're willing to give and what you're not. And this starts showing up in very simple ways, Like when someone asks you for something you can't do, and instead of saying yes just to avoid discomfort, you calmly say, "I can't this time," without over-explaining, without apologizing for existing, without feeling guilty for having limits. And something unexpected happens. The world doesn't fall apart. People don't suddenly leave, and your mind starts to realize something new. Maybe being honest isn't as dangerous as it once felt. Maybe boundaries are not rejection. Maybe expressing yourself is not conflict. Maybe being yourself isn't what pushes people away. Maybe it's what finally brings the right people closer. Because at the end of the day, people don't respect those who always say yes. They respect those who know when to say no and mean it.